This is LCook with the SLP 242 Learning Disability Therapy Lesson session. So for my therapy session would be for ages 4 to 6 years old, which would include preschool through kindergarten. The goal would be recognizing letters, matching them up, uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as working on their sounds that match those corresponding letters. The project would involve a couple of worksheets. The first one would entail uppercase letters and lowercase letters and matching those up, and the second one would have pictures that would correspond letters with the pictures that go with those corresponding sounds. So with the first worksheet that I printed up, we would ask the students to find a particular capital letter or uppercase letter. Being as the children are as young as they are, I would probably go with using big A, big B, little b, rather than uppercase and lowercase, because it's easier for them to understand. So when they come in and sit down at a table that would be a lower level height, much more suitable for younger kids, preferably a U-shaped table where you can speak with all of the children and have all of them working on the same activity at the same time right in front of you. They would be given the first worksheet and they would be told to find a letter, circle it, and then find the matching smaller case letter. So I would say find the letter D. So they would find the D, hopefully, and circle it, and then they would have to find the matching little d. So find the matching little d and circle it. And we would go through doing this with all of the letters, matching up the big letter and the little letter, and finding all the different letters. Now, as we did that, they would find, say they find letter D and match it up, then I would go from student to student and have them give me a word that starts with that letter. So if it was D, they might come up with dog or drum or something of that nature. To make this a little bit easier if the kids were struggling with it, I would start at the very beginning with the very first letter. Say, okay, letter A is your first letter, circle the big A, have them circle it, and then have them find the little b that or the little a that matches it. Then I would go to the next letter. That way, instead of jumping around, it would make it a little bit easier for them to find the letters. If it was a child that was more advanced and they were showing that this particular worksheet was too easy for them, I might try something like having them find a letter, and maybe instead of circling it like I had before, maybe the second letter they could put a square around it, so that would give it a little bit more challenge for them. So then they matched up the M's and the squares would match. So then maybe if they were matching up the A's, they would each have a triangle. So match your A's and put a triangle around them. So you could do different letters, or we could also incorporate crayons and coloring with them. So I could say find the capital H or the big H and color it red. So they would find it and color it in red. Okay, now find the little h and color it red as well. So then they would find the h and color it red. You know, just kind of a bubble or a circle around it. So that would be for the kids that are more advanced, and it seems as though that this worksheet would be fairly simple for them. So then once we've matched up all the letters and given words that match, that the sounds go with those letters, we would switch to the second worksheet. The second worksheet would have some pictures on it with corresponding letters that they would have to match up, that the picture starts with, the sound that it starts with. So I would say to them, what is our first picture of? And they hopefully would say cow. And I would say, okay, find the letter that cow starts with, the k sound. What does cow start with? The k sound. So hopefully then they would find the letter C and they would circle it. Now, if this was too hard for a student and we were finding that they were struggling with finding the correct letter, we could look at the picture and say, okay, this is a cow. What does cow start with? What sound does it start with? It starts with the k sound. So we know that's a letter C. Can you find the letter C? And then they would find the letter C and circle it. If this was too simple, if the students were finding it that it was easy for them to do, my thought would be once they found the C that goes with the cow, we could try to sound out the rest of the word. Cow is kind of a difficult word to sound out, so that one might be a little bit of a challenge. But if we go down to, say, pig, we could circle the P for pig, and I could say, okay, the second letter is an I sound. What makes the I sound? And hopefully they would come up with I or another vowel that would be similar. And the last letter is a G sound. What letter makes the G sound? And they would come up, hopefully, with the G. So those would be the different ways that we could make the worksheets more challenging or a little bit more easy for the students. So, and then at the end, of course, we want to make sure that we praise the students and let them know that they've done a great job, and keep reiterating the goals as far as the capital letters and the lowercase letters and the sounds that they make.